Hey man.
What's going on, brother?
No, just hanging out, having some coffee.
I
The
hear
show
it.
never stops.
Looks like you made a pretty mean turkey for Thanksgiving.
Oh, you know it. I'm a big fan of like just the Thanksgiving, like all of it. I love the cooking. I hate that the season's missed. I think we missed a lot of opportunities to sit together as a family and not like actually talk about what we're thankful for. It's an unfortunate loss for many people to not have that like connection, being together. Like it's like once a year, everybody decides, all right, we'll be as cordial as we possibly can. It's like, yeah. And
Pretty
then
cool.
how wonderful would it be to lead with gratitude?
I know, right? The thought.
I know. Okay, so if you're good with it, I'm not sure. Like I know that Macy has family in, and I know that Crystal last minute, where they were supposed to do Thanksgiving yesterday, like legit last minute, they flipped it on them and said, "Hey, why don't everybody just show up on Friday?" It's like, oh, cool. So it just me and you, which I think will be fine. If you're good with that, I'd like to get started. If they pop in, then we'll just go from there. Is that cool?
Yeah, no problem. I figured
Okay.
that one of the things that would be helpful is I just kind of show you my system for content and how I like kind of
Yeah.
putting that out. And
Yeah.
then we can talk about whatever's on your mind.
Yeah. So yeah, no, that'll be great. And then I went through because I told you that my thing would be to like, okay, let's get back to the okay, like why? Yeah, you can post a lot of crap, but then at what point, for what cause, to what end? And then
Mhm.
so I went through and really kind of just didn't spend too long, but spent enough time just kind of like thinking about it. So spend a few hours just kind of like, okay, what do I really want? What am I really missing? And so I really feel like that's kind of where I'm at is knowing some of those end goals. Need some advice from you, and then obviously then the accountability to kind of push things forward.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's do that. Let me just share my screen. This won't take much time, and then we'll dive into
Yeah.
that. Oh. All right. Can you see this?
Yeah. Let me tilt my phone so I can pick it up heavier. Okay.
All right. So this is basically just the calendar that me and my assistant and then my video editor use to plan content. So I've got this actually all done for the year, but what it typically entails, the way that I work, is I just have to block
Mhm.
time. So I'll
Yeah.
either like block an hour on Sunday, sometimes it'll be more, and I'll just get through a whole bunch of stuff. So my assistant can just come in here and they know for the day what needs to be posted on what platform at what time. It's that simple. And like, for example,
Yeah.
if they just click on here, it'll open up, this right here, which has the video, link to the video. So if they click on this, it'll go to the video and then any copy that I want to go with the video, as well as
Yeah.
any hashtags.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm on here. I just have to be over
Hey,
on
there
phone
you
so I don't
are.
have
Yeah.
service out here. But I just want to check, are you recording this by any chance, since I won't be able to see everything?
Yeah, I am. Mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, Crystal.
All right,
Sorry, Did you hear me say that you may not be on the call, and then you are?
I'll be right back.
No, I just hopped on like a minute
Oh,
ago,
okay.
and y'all were in this
Okay.
conversation. So no, I didn't hear that.
Okay, cool. Well, I was letting them know that your family kind of rearranged Thanksgiving on you, so that you might not be here.
Yeah, no, I was able to step away for a minute, so we're good.
Well, cool. And you definitely don't have to. He is recording. If you wanted to go, okay, well, I'll just pop in and watch the video. You can do whatever you need to do.
It's okay.
Yeah, don't feel obligated. Family first.
Yeah.
Well, we are here all day, so I appreciate it. But it's okay. I can hop on. If I need to get
You're
off,
like, you're like,
I'll hang up.
zip it, guys. I need this. Let me have this.
uh yeah, so yeah, I mean, so that's the simple layout, and then for so we use Slack, right? So nothing special there, but what I'll do is I'll record something like a teaching or a training, and then we have our Google Drives folder, and then I'll drop the training here in videos for review. And then I'll let my video editor know that, and then he'll come in here, he'll grab that one, and then what he'll do is he'll break it down into the segments and then post those segments in here. And then my job, which I'm behind on this one, is to go through and review those and then just let him know any notes or anything that I want different. And then once these have been reviewed, I just move them over to the final videos folder. And then that way, when I update our posting sheet and there's a video to be posted, it's pulled from the final videos folder.
Yeah, so it's not compressed.
Right. So just the structure just makes things easier, and then just makes it quicker to go through. I mean, when I first started doing this 2 years ago, it would take me forever to produce content and to get a system down. But now, since I've refined it over the last 2 years, like I said, I only need about an hour and I can get about 3 months worth of content done.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, so you have somebody that does, like, you'll shoot the raw, they know kind of the structure of it, and they'll they'll do the edits for you.
Yeah, I mean, time is money. I can share this with you. You know, if I can't, you know, sometimes I just help my clients get somebody local. It really just depends on what they need. But if local doesn't matter to you, you know, you can come right here to onlinejobs.ph and you can literally post a job that, you know, you're looking for a video editor or a graphics designer or whatever. I know that's right up your lane there, Randy. But if, you know, if that's something you want to upload, there's tremendous talent here. You know.
Yeah. Well, we hired somebody. She's just got to figure out, like, she's figuring out our style and everything. So Macy's daughter is a student at Waco, and she was making like $10 an hour at a vitamin shop. And I was like, dude, I know that you have basic knowledge because she did this kind of stuff in high school for athletics, you know, and obviously athletics doesn't need a whole lot of like pizzazz, but you know, for most of our basic stuff that we need to do, like I'm getting her used to kind of our style, but no, she'll be doing this kind of stuff, dropping it in. I sent her an iPad Pro so that she can even do it on the fly, kind of get rolling with it. It's got plenty of space in it. So, you know, because gosh, Adobe Rush is real simple to, like, when you got to splice together, like all the stuff that I do that's just like clipped together, like our Thanksgiving thing yesterday. I did that sitting down while we were watching, and I just spliced it together from, I told everybody to send me stuff. I just cut out their little tidbits where they're like, yeah.
Awesome.
So, okay. We'll see. Okay, Mike. So looking at, and Crystal, what I was telling him is that I went through and put a little bit of thought into like what our end goal was for, and this is just for the Roreco. So this is for the brokerage side of things. I do want to get Crystal and I on a call with you pretty quickly this next week. Maybe we could settle that in as we finish. Or did we get a date? Crystal, I'm sorry, did we
did not
finalize that?
No,
okay,
we just have to schedule it on his scheduling app, and then we will be able to get that done.
Well, maybe you and I can text back and forth today while you're there and get it knocked out. Okay. Okay. So Mike, looking at everything, I really look at it as we kind of, as the brokerage, are existing in 5 spaces. So the web, which is our web page stuff, essentially, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and then Google My Business. And so kind of where I was thinking about was everything that we really want for our brokerage. If we really wanted to understand, like, why would it even matter that we put any advertising out there? I look at it in a couple different ways. One is to build our agent database. And so I do think we actually want to, the end goal, drive people to some version of registration, so that then we can develop that. And that's going to be for 2 reasons. One is for the recruiting opportunities, obviously, that would come from that. But also, so there's 2 other things that kind of fit inside of that. One is just the staunch brand recognition. Agents give agents clout, and especially inside of Houston. And you look at anybody who kind of gets this opportunity to rise to the top. Well, it kind of works the same thing for brokers. Agents give brokerages their clout. And so we've got to be able to earn clout by having a database that is actually pretty substantial from agents, um, uh, for the ability to have that brand recognition, that growth and everything. So we need registrations so we can get the database built, so that then we can start building even some of those internal campaigns that will hit them. But the second thing is that kind of way we are building our business is that we are looking to vertically integrate some of the ancillary or secondary services that are required in real estate. So the design work, the coaching and training stuff specifically towards the business, and like transaction coordinating and these things. So we're looking to build those as legs of our business that become profit centers eventually. It's probably going to take 2 or 3 years. But if we want to be able to build that out, we need to be able to have the databases that then can support our opportunities to market those products inside of that space. So for us, I did kind of go back and go, man, at the end of the day, we were talking about brand recognition, but that brand recognition, we've got to be able to build our registered, we need registered people inside of our database. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Kind of, if you could just kind of talk to me what you envision that looking like. So is this like just a basic landing page where they're opting in and then they're going to get stuff from you?
Yeah. So here's how I was kind of thinking through it. And this is where you'll need to kind of like click my brain into place for like where my thought processes are going. So if you look at the web page, real simple, register, or set an appointment, like a call to action. And I've got plenty of those call to action elements on there. I think I need to kind of relook at that, re-understand the analytics of it. I'm not even pushing the website that much. So why am I not? How can I get people landing there? Do they care if they land there? You know, that sort of thing. So kind of answering those questions. But yeah, so, but even I have a downloadable sheet on there that's like the how to spot check your business. And it's a 4-page like outline of like all of the systems that you should have inside of your business. And it's just sitting there, like anybody can go and download it. That should have a little bit more of a call to action.
Oh, you mean it's not gated?
No, because it was kind of falling in line with like kind of how I was operating, like underneath, like, no, just give it all away.
Yeah.
And which you still can, and yet, like you said, it can be gated. It's like, I mean, I could even thinking through some of these places to where it's like, we could be giving away way more than that. And people just have to register to go dig in our files and folders. Like, why shouldn't we give away the structure for things? Because I don't mind that stuff. So anyways, like creating, like you said, some more viable opportunities for people to visit our website, understand who we are, grab the things that we're creating for them as agents that are needed. So, okay, so that's kind of in the web tower, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at the Instagram and Facebook, obviously those two things marry each other fairly well. And so kind of looking at the idea of like the reels. So still kind of coming through with the idea of reels is that can be, in my mind, the opportunity for agents who like and follow, share. Like the like, follow, share is like almost the goal. Like, is this likable? Is it followable? Is it shareable? Because like the agent community, that's the other thing, is it like, oh my goodness, in Houston, I have friends in mortgage business that put stuff out there and they're like, oh my gosh, this is hilarious. Yes, you're correct. And then they share it and they put it on their stories and everybody's loving it. They're liking it. They're like, it's like, okay, so we're not capitalizing on what's already happening. There's already a community of like, oh yeah. And so I've started to look a little bit more into the real stuff and obviously seeing its, excuse me, its kind of heightened profile for Instagram and for Facebook. Like it needs to be there so that, but like in my head, that's a brand thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's a like, it's a follow, it's a share. I don't understand enough. So this is kind of a fill in the blank. I don't understand enough about like where a call to action can happen inside of Reels, because it's like, it's not linkable. It's not grabbable. There's, you know, obviously in the comments and stuff, I've got the link tree set up and we can do all that stuff, but like, my expectation is that I may not be able to grab them from there and push them anywhere for a registration. The way I'm looking at it is that like they will kind of help build that name brand with the like, follow, share scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, you're right. You're not going to be able to push them anywhere, but the call to action could, just be some, depending on, what you're talking about. Um, the majority of that stuff, right, is going to be entertainment, education,
Yeah.
but then the ones that are call to actions, where you're maybe teaching something a little bit more in depth, or you're talking about one of the trainings that you have available, be like, hey, if you're interested in getting this, visit our
Yeah.
website, download
Yeah.
it.
So I've just been practicing on that stuff by just doing my family stuff, but that's going to real quickly turn into business real fast. And not complete business, but you understand what I mean.
Sure.
I haven't done any business reels. So when I look at the stories, so this is different. Stories I look at being able to get into the place. So I use it a little bit different than what you said, just because like in my brain, this makes more sense for it. But the entertainment, information, and then the ask. So it's obviously going into like what you said, like following that rule of thumb. But the way that I look at the stories is that they are starting to do a lot more inside of stories with the stickers that do have the ability to clink in. They actually are creating some registration type of opportunities. I've got to be able to figure that out a little bit better. But I don't think it would take me 2 seconds to watch a YouTube and figure it out on how to use those new elements. But the way that I was looking at that is that it also should probably be a really great way for us to be able to get the content to have a pulse on the agent market. Like we should be using that in the way to be able to collect information about like where the agents are. Like, there's so many like fun ways you can do questions, so many ways you can do the interaction stuff. And I think there's a lot of ways to be able to gain a pulse on like what agents are actually needing if we're going to create the stuff that they need. You know what I mean? So like I could create stuff all day long that I think agents need, but I'm going to come from a perspective of a 7-year veteran who has the wherewithal to create his own company versus, the rookie to the gal running a, 9-person team. So there needs to be, I think, a little bit more true depth into the data collection for what do people actually want, so that we're creating content that's geared in that space versus just, my quirky personality is not going to fit everybody. So I need to be able to have a little bit more. So I was looking at stories and like really finding a way to make sure that the stories have a double ending to it. One is that I think there is a way to collect the data, that it does follow that thirds, which is the education or the entertainment, information, and the ask. But then it's a really great way for us to be able to pull out the content elements that we need, listening to what agents will say. Does that make sense?
No, that makes perfect sense. And that's exactly the way you want to go about it. Because you're right. There's no sense in putting stuff out there where you're just guessing onto what, agents might want help with or what might want to discuss, when you can just use the elements of the stories to directly ask them, where they're stuck, or what you could help them out with. And then once you get those answers, produce the content around that. Yeah.
And then the last thing in the feed stuff is that is going to be real simple to get them into a registration process. Like if I create content, the call to ask is going to be simple because my link tree is right there. So it's one click versus, or it's one step versus like having to go, like everything else is going to be 2 or 3 steps to get them into the registration process. The link tree can get them like into 2 clicks, they're there. So that's going to have a little bit more, obviously the content's going to be broader. It's going to go everything from video to the graphics to like, it's going to run all of it. Like reels are going to be posted in there, obviously as the posts, like Instagram TV, where we'll take our long content, put it in there. So the way that I was looking at that for Instagram and Facebook is like each element that they now have created is a standalone app, technically, like inside of Reels, Stories, and the feed, and obviously Instagram TV. That each one of those probably should be specific towards what the end goal is for the direction of what we like. So we put in great content in Reels. There's no really outside opportunity to be able to get them to register or go anywhere. So that needs to be the like, follow, share, like get agents liking agents, like build the agent community, stories, can have a both and then feed is the trifecta. It can do all of it. And it can do all of it in just a couple clicks because of the ability to have the profile link. So
Yeah, but
that's my thought process.
you'll be able to connect all that though too. Right. So if as you build these
sure.
as you build these assets out, and you know, you can take, you know, $1 a day and simply just build out retargeting based on who's interacted with previous posts, and then have new stuff be pushed out to those people so that they're made aware, and then create this omnipresence around your brand so that anytime they go on social media, they're seeing your stuff.
Yeah. For sure. Yeah, no, I'm down for that. So, okay. And then looking into LinkedIn, to be fair with you, I'm not sure yet. I think I mostly just want to be present. It's become a collection. So everything that I push out to Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Google My Business. So I just push it all out to all 4 places. And so LinkedIn is just catching all of the content. I haven't done anything original there. I think I'm going to dig into it a little bit. It's not, I think, as effective of a space, except for the opportunity that we have to gain access to a lot more information on agents. Because obviously, when you look at LinkedIn, most people put way more history of who they are and what they did and how they're doing. And so I think that's going to be probably the best place for us once we start researching the people who we like recruiting stuff. I think it's a great opportunity for us to see some researching opportunities and even like doing some ad calls to like, hey, if you're tired of the, you know, overpromise, undeliver brokerage, we'd love to have a conversation with you, just to kind of, again, start building some of that underlying residual kind of like leads that come in for people who are curious, but not necessarily people that we're targeting, because we've got a target list, but we don't have a kind of an incremental list or anything that we've built yet. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I don't know if you know this or not, but you can actually, if you build up your connections, you can actually scrape their contact information, which then you can use to add them to any of the retargeting that you develop in the future, so that they'll see your stuff outside of LinkedIn, because you'll have access to their email and telephone.
Okay. Yeah. No. And well, the good news is my LinkedIn is, I have a massive like friend list and following stuff just from when I was doing it. But the challenge is that I was mostly doing that when I was in oil and gas. And so it's not a whole lot of realtors on there yet, but okay. And then on the Google My Business, in fairness, like it's helping to boost the searchable like stuff. And then the end goal there is to contact us. Like that's like, and I think they have the direct, like they're the most direct motive. Now, obviously it's not registration, but they have like the simple like ability just to contact us. So that was kind of my idea there. Obviously I don't know enough about that particular leg. But if I look at creating content, that's kind of the purpose for like, if I'm going to get this in the reel, like, then I need to make sure it's entertaining enough that they share it on their own, or that if it's something that I'm like, look, I promise you, none of your friends know this is going on. Share this so that you can spread the word. You know, like the call to action is just a quick share, a quick follow, a quick like, that sort of thing. Registration on the web, digging into the analytics a little bit further too. That's something that even I was looking at the other day. I'm posting completely wrong in Instagram right now. Everybody on my Instagram is looking at my content usually between 5 and 6. And I'm posting like this. So anyways, just getting a little bit more specific, and it makes sense. Obviously, if filters are my friends, like they don't stop to like actually pull content in until later. Crystal, what you got?
I have a question with that. For Mike, whenever he's talking about that, and if people are looking at 5 and 6, is there a sweet time that he needs to be posting so it actually pops up on their feed? Because I know, I'm not sure, but if he posts at 5, is that going to not hit their feeds right away?
No, it will be,
Or
but
would it be okay?
I mean, the time of day matters, because that's when the most eyeballs are on there, and it's more of an algorithm thing. Like if you post at 4 or 5 on Instagram, that's when the majority of eyeballs are going to be there. So the more people that see your stuff tells Instagram that your content is valuable. So then it automatically shows up in more of your followers' feeds organically. Otherwise, the only way that they see it is if later on at night they're bored and they just continue to scroll deeper and deeper through the endless feed of Instagram. Then there's a possibility that they'll see. But the
Yeah.
great possibility
Well,
is at the time where the most people are on.
yeah. And then, Crystal, I know you just texted me YouTube, and what I put on there was just to duplicate everything right now to YouTube, and just like all the long videos and the really good clips in YouTube right now is just a placeholder. I don't know that we have the bandwidth to really do a whole lot with that, other than make sure that we're starting to collect and put information out there, and to start building the catalog of videos and stuff that we have.
Yeah.
Mike, is that okay?
Yeah, and you're gonna want if YouTube is eventually gonna be part of what you do, you got to understand that platform from a real estate perspective. People aren't going there to be entertained so much as they would like a Reels or a TikTok.
No.
That's more on the education side.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, hello, like 99% of the time I'm going to YouTube to be educated on something. Like, it's my number one source of education in my life.
But I do think that
So,
there is that's a, you talked earlier about content and knowing what people want to digest and consume. One of the things that when I'm building out campaigns for clients, and we talked about this before, like answer the public, but you can just go right into YouTube and just type in a couple of words and the search will automatically pre-populate, and that'll tell you what the majority of people are searching for regarding that topic.
yeah.
Yeah, and my reference to that was more of a note that like we need to get that off of because it was still kind of connected to KW in a weird way. But more so that in the future for Set the Bar, you and Macy, I think that definitely needs to be a platform where you are teaching about that or learning, and like he said,
sure.
with
Yeah,
I mean, even if we just market that as about Houston or information about Houston or whatever people are searching for sure. And yes, you're right. We don't have the bandwidth right now, but even to just get it set up to where when we film content that we feel like is beneficial, we can add that on there.
Yeah. True that.
Because people are going to hear you. I mean, they're going to, it's like the one client, we thought people were coming directly to their website, just direct, and that's not the path that they were taking. They were consuming content on other platforms, and then they were going into Google and they were typing in the people's names or the name of their company, and then from there going to their website.
There you go. Okay, so that's kind of the quick of it, Mike. I know that I told you that that's what I owed you for this call. So obviously some accountability kind of towards that. But I think the next thing that I would owe you is great talking about it. Now let's actually like do the thing, like show me the like build out the calendar a little bit more further. And I even talked with the gal who's going to be helping me yesterday. What we're doing, we're going to use more of the Trello type of boards. We have we use a CRM called Zoho for recruiting stuff.
Yep.
I think what we'll do is create all that content, or like schedule all that content in that on boards inside of Zoho versus like your spreadsheet and stuff. And then like she and I already have a folder in the Google Drive and everything. So our communication is kind of ramping up. But yeah, so I think what I owe you, what I owe you next then should be more of okay, show me what you're going to be doing over the next 30 days. I don't know if I can give you more than 30 days right now, but like, that's a starting place. Would that be fair?
That'd be more than fair.
Okay. Crystal, is that fair, or do you need me to do more than that?
No, I think that's very fair. I think that's good.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but maybe this is just my own personal belief, but I believe that anytime you're trying to start something new, people get derailed because they just try to bite off too much at one time. Like when they, say, "Oh, I'm gonna get back in shape and go to the gym," they're like, "I'm gonna go to the gym 7 days a week and do 2 a days." And I'm more about your behavior. So, starting off slow and saying, "Hey, I'm gonna take a 20-minute walk 3 times a week," and build up that habit is far more powerful than just going balls to the walls and burning yourself out in the first 2 weeks and then
Yeah.
being and stopping.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Well,
Okay.
well, cool. I think that like my biggest thing lately though for you just has been creating the consistency in one element, and so that element has been our the market report. So the market report has had 3 weeks in a row. I've done video once. I have a video to go out today for that that I've already got scheduled to film. And so working on creating consistency in each of the things that are going to be regular recurring stuff. So then when I start to fill in the gaps, it's easier to go, okay, cool. And it's also feels better when I get on a challenging week and I'm like, you know what? I can't create anything extra. I got to stick to my staples that I do all the time.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where my brain is rolling anyways.
I mean, I think we're the same on that. And that's why I personally, I like having my calendar. Like, I know that's the minimum that's going to get done. If I can do more than that, then perfect.
Yeah. Well, cool. Yeah. So I know that this today didn't I did most of the talking, but I know that I owed you the conversations that I owed you. And so I wanted to make sure I spent time like opening up all those doors and on the right page kind of process.
No, and I appreciate that. And I think that that's good because I think before there was some not confusion, but maybe some ambivalence on what direction you were going to go with things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that
Yeah.
this is good.
Cool. Sweet. So I'll give me till Thursday and I'll have you a very specific setup of what we're going to be doing next and all that stuff. So that's like, here are the things that we're doing. Here's what we want to get done. Like I'll have all that stuff. Is it easier? Because I know obviously it's just a sheet, so I can type into a cell if I needed to, but like just put that into the marketing because I know that you're connected to that. Like, is that the easiest way to kind of just show you like, here's where we're going, just kind of put the quick notes inside of that? Would that be the easiest place?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Okay, cool. Okay, so I'll do that there.
Okay.
All right, Crystal, did you have anything that we needed to do or that we needed to cover?
No, I think that was I think what he covered was really good. So no, I don't have anything right now. I'm sure we'll have stuff at the next meeting, but right now, no.
Okay, so while I've got Crystal though, Mike, we do need to talk about kind of what's next. So on the group calls, like where are you taking the group calls next?
Yeah. So that is good. Thanks for bringing that up. So officially we have one more group call, and that is
Okay.
tying everything up together with the database campaign system that I have built out. So my plan is to share that, to walk them through that, and then to just show them where they need to edit things once they have their videos produced and how to best to use that.
Okay. And is that all inside of KV4?
It will be. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So then moving forward then, obviously, because I know that we went ahead and said, hey, let's commit to this. Let's make sure it's solid for 3 months. What do we need to do to kind of, what is it in your brain, kind of a going forward motion? I know this is good for us for the leadership, obviously. So if it needs to just be scaled into that, and then we kind of restructure, or like, I don't know. So like, what's your thought process in moving forward as having obviously our brokerage part of Team Family, as far as like, being coach?
No, absolutely. Yeah, the leadership call for sure, and whatever you guys want to work towards and discuss as far as the group. if that is going to continue, then I would just continue to teach them different things to start to continue developing their lead generation. So really, I just start walking them through, you know, more high level stuff such as, you know, using Facebook, and then how do you generate leads on Facebook? Here are some templates and some frameworks that you can use. This is how you want to run ads, if you want to run ads for buyers, for sellers, for relocators, and
Okay.
just teaching those types of things.
Why don't Crystal and I, why don't we do this? Is it me, you, and Macy get together, talk about kind of what we'd want for a structure moving forward. And then we'll kind of figure out whatever that subscription, quote unquote, looks like with you, Mike, so we can kind of get all of that going. Obviously, I want to keep you on.
Quick.
Yeah, sorry, Crystal.
Quick question on that. I know that getting to the ads and running the ads, how long would you say, because I know it's every other week, how long would you say that section or that section takes to complete?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, it's going to take a few sessions, especially depending on you know, the people's I mean, because there is some technical aptitude that goes along with that. So for me to teach it out, it at the minimum it would be probably 3 sessions to do it like I would want to do it, so that they have a very good understanding of things, probably 4 or 5.
Okay, no, that's reasonable. I wanted to kind of get a time frame for that, so we know moving forward.
Yeah, if that's something that, you know, you guys wanted, if you wanted to compress that and not do like, you know, every other week, but say, hey, for the next month, you know, every week on this day, we're gonna, you know, this is gonna be this class or this whatever master class or training is gonna be specific to this, and this is gonna take place over the next 4 weeks. We could do something like that as well.
So yeah, I think that might be a little bit more accountable to the agents, because then it's weekly and it's not where they're like kind of losing what they were doing. Obviously, we would discuss that when we have our meeting with Mason and Randy, but I think that the week to week for something that is so much stuff that they have to kind of do would be better. What do you think, Randy?
Yeah. No, I think I am in agreement, or even if we're looking at it, if Mike has a time to do like, hey guys, this is actually going to be batten down the hatchets. We're going to get there. It's going to be it's going to be 3 hours today, because he's going to go through and we're going to live and in person work through the process of 1, 2, and 3. So instead of like having every other, it's like, well, we're going to pay you for your 3 hours, like on one specific training or something like that, you know, something like. But I do agree with you, like having some like digging deep into one specific thing, like especially like Instagram, because that's, I think, where most of our agents enjoy being as far as a platform. And so why not help them enjoy being where they're at and actually using it as a productive measure?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm perfectly open to any of those options.
Well, we'll get going, because like obviously I want to be able to keep the opportunity for all of our agents. And then what would be really neat, Mike, I don't know if you already do this, but like the basic kind of 1, 2, 3 for a new agent, like how it would, like as a new agent comes on board with us, do we go, you need to, like one of your first steps, you need to schedule a call with Mike. If you let us know that it's scheduled and all this stuff, and then like, hey man, here's marketing mix 101 for you. Something like that could be, I think, pretty solid for us. Because I don't know where you're at on that. I know, just kind of spitballing there, but
yeah, I mean, most of my work doesn't entail dealing with new agents directly, but that is actually a good idea, having something like that, whether it's just for you guys or for also down the road. Yeah, just let me put some thought into that and what that would look like.
Perfect, because like I mean, I'm dangerous enough to get in there, but like you may look at it and say like, hey man, do not press go, do not collect $200 until you do like Google My Business is the very first thing. Here's how you set it up. We're not going to get into the sticks about how to utilize it as a tool yet. You just need to have it set up. You need to go into your Facebook, you need to create an account, and then it creates, you know what I mean? So like have them with like the top 5 things that you got to do now to start your marketing process.
No, yeah, I love that.
So, well, we don't have to stick the whole time. I know that I for sure just wanted to make sure I got my piece out. I'm about to go have a recruiting appointment here in a little bit. And then I just finished a cup of coffee. It's a great Black Friday.
Crystal, what would help you moving forward? Do you need any help, or are you curious about anything with like standard operating procedures, or I don't know, maybe what some things look like from a higher level with some of the other clients that I've worked with?
I think that would all be beneficial. I mean, obviously marketing isn't my first strength. So obviously more understanding of what you said would be great. And even the marketing side would be beneficial. I need to just schedule some time with you. I just want to be able to dedicate that time since we've been doing these transitions. I just feel like, kind of like you said, I don't want to bite off too much. So I'm just trying to focus on the areas that I need to focus on right now. And then as soon as I get that done, which hopefully will be in the next few weeks, I'll have all that aligned correctly. And then I'll be able to focus on that side of things more.
Okay. Yeah. What I'm
That
here.
makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm here for however I can help you guys.
Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. Sweet. Well, I guess we'll catch you. Well, yeah, so we'll all chat and we'll get back with you, obviously pretty quickly here so we can figure out what the structure is going forward.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Thanks, man.
All right.
You're welcome. Have a good day.
Thank you.
See you guys. All right. Bye.